as you can see, editing another video. This is the third or fourth installment on the Piranha boat build. As of this video, there's been many more parts have shown up. They've been sent to the engine shop. Unfortunately, we don't have anybody to shoot footage at the engine shop, so we're not going to be able to see that until it's done. There's parts that are being shipped back here. There's a lot of logistics going on in building this boat. This video really quickly is my son, Jason, who owns J Industries, makes a lot of parts for the mini boats, made a lot of parts for the Mojo boat and the 33 boat, and now makes a lot of exclusive parts for Torchcraft Marine in Oregon, who is building the hull for the new Piranha boat and just put the pump in. I'll be heading there this week to pick up the hull for the Piranha boat with the pump in it. And we're going to get to see the new trailer with the boat sitting on it. I'm excited about that. So stay tuned, there's more videos to come. The beginning of this video is what J Industry is and what he does and the parts he makes for the mini boats. So if you're building a mini boat, you're gonna wanna watch this. Second part will be some of the engine parts that he's accumulated for the new motor that's being built in Texas. And as of airing this video, there's a lot more parts that have shown up, but unfortunately we don't have the video on that yet. So I wanna get this one out, and we'll just keep putting stuff out as we get it. So enjoy the video. See you on the next one.
Hey YouTube, I'm Jason from J Industries. I've been machining parts for about 6 years now. My dad is the owner of the Mojo boat, or was the owner. When the Mojo boat came around, it needed a lot of special parts that weren't previously manufactured, and there were no options. So I started making parts starting with the Mojo boat. Some of the stuff was like the handle mounts. At the time, there was no way to have a handle that wasn't aluminum and welded to the boat. So they were all aluminum. When you're hanging on, riding around, it always ended up on your hands, all the raw aluminum. So this became a way to mount it on your boat, have a color, have the handle be a different color or carbon fiber or stainless. So one of the things that the Mojo boat created for the mini boat industry. Also at the time, all the vents didn't look very good. Everybody uses the plastic ones. That doesn't look good. So created double vents, single vents. Also created several other parts that had never been made before that we had to create from scratch. The Sea-Doo link mount to put on the back of the boat, ice chest, toolbox, fuel tank. A nice way to handle the directional pads, leaving the handlebars of the Sea-Doo and going into the boat. A lot of people were just cutting out really crude things. They always had a square when there's supposed to be little curves there, buttons for start and another accessory, all hard anodized. Solved some of the problems that building a mini boat created. Everybody runs the cast bow eyes that are super cheap that look like they're from China. Tried to change that up. Nice billet bow eye, ready to weld on. Again, created for the Mojo boat, then available through Torchcraft for everybody. Rear tie down to weld on the back. Same thing, it's not all rounded and cheap looking. It looks like a nice piece to go on a nice boat. When we saw what the industry had, it wasn't very good. So decided to step it up. Now this is standard on all Torchcraft boats and also available from Torchcraft. Same thing with the fuel pumps. You had to use that big plastic threaded thing. Created a nice solid billet piece that wasn't gonna warp or flex. It didn't have crazy threads that were hard to machine. Easily removable, all stainless hardware. So that lid doesn't have to come with it. It can go stay with the tank if it was to be used somewhere else. And this whole package was cheaper than just the threaded piece itself. He's got a nozzle bracket that fixes some of the problems with nozzles. Again, only available at Torchcraft, but we've been fixing the problems with the mini boat industry and pushing the limits, which is what this whole next build is about. Other things that have been great are Switch Pro mounts. There wasn't a good way to put that Switch Pro. They leave a tiny little edge to make that mount. So we have a nice billet anodized part for you. And one of the things for the new build that isn't even out yet, this is the first time it's really been shown, is 12.3 inch Holley dash insert. So dash goes in there, has a nice lip for it, bolts in from the back side. There's a clamp that'll go on here that haven't shown up yet, basically to mount it just like the Switch Pros. That's a little bit about what we make here at J Industries and some of the things that we've done to improve the build quality, visual, and keep stuff made in America for the mini boat industry. There's also several one-of-one parts that were on the Mojo boat that I don't have pictures of or parts of, but on the Mojo boat up here where the light bar was, light bar slash handle mount, one of one, custom piece. Super proud of it, turned out amazing. Had several revisions, 3D printing from Weasel Motorsports. He printed it, tested it, and then we modified it. Then I made another one and another one. So that turned out really cool. The bracket that holds the light bar, one of one, very custom piece. And there's several other little things throughout the actual boat. But I will say, being a little guy, small shop out in nowhere, Texas, having my logo on the boats made by Pro Boat, super cool having my small business logo all over the world. All right, let's get to the part why you guys are really here. Obviously, we're building a V8 boat. Been done before, not very common. Definitely hasn't been done before the way we're gonna do it. So we're actually building the motor out here in Texas. A bunch of the parts got shipped to me. I've been involved with several twin turbo builds, a lot of 1,000 horsepower plus builds from pre-runners, drag cars, street cars, and even back when we had Jess Motorsports, we built several twin turbo and supercharged sand cars. So horsepower, nothing new, but I wanted to make sure that we're heading in the right direction. So definitely not new to high horsepower. Definitely wanted to make sure we're heading in the right direction, going through John at DB Rods, north of where I'm at here in northern San Antonio. Kind of wanted to show you closer up the quality of the parts that were selected. Obviously this is a connecting rod. It's got 12-point ARP bolts, forged H-beam. Again, great piece. Used this brand several times. Great success with it. VS Racing Gen 2 wastegate, stainless V-band flanges on both sides, hard anodized. Great company to work with, and look forward to having these on the boat. VS Racing turbo, mirror image. It is a billet wheel. Anti-surge porting in there, T4 V-band exhaust, and the one thing I really do like is they do send the gasket kit, a nice billet drain with the gasket for the drain as well. And I don't know if you can quite see it. It's even machined at a slight angle. If you haven't installed turbo drains before, trying to get that fitting on there when it's perfectly straight is really tough, and they've thought this through. They've made it user-friendly. That trick flow head, again, this deck is thicker than your standard LS, and even some of the aftermarket companies, they don't make it as thick or as rigid for those high boost applications. This is not a CNC ported, but it is fast as cast, so it's their specific casting that is bigger. This is a 220cc fast as cast trick flow head. It has dual valve springs. I think these are the chromoly retainers. I don't think they're the titanium. We'll be using ARP head studs, again, 1/2 inch for higher clamping force. I don't have them here, but we'll be running a BTR twin turbo stage 4 V2 camshaft, BTR Ultimate dual valve spring with titanium retainers, and BTR shaft mount rockers for valve train stability. BTR has also been great to work with. They were really interested in the project that we're doing. They wanted to be a part of it, so they've jumped on board on helping us manage the valve train. BTR also makes some very cool components, which you'll see later. They're not here yet. The intake manifolds, valve covers, as well as pretty much any other part you would need to assemble your motor. Talking with the guys there with the goals that we had for horsepower, cubic inch, different ways a boat applies horsepower compared to a car, as far as having no gears, no tires. There's not really such thing as neutral. It's connected to this pump that has load all the time, and there's also only one speed. So it needs to have enough power on the bottom to get it out of the hole, but enough power remaining and enough RPM remaining to keep going. So a boat is a different horsepower application, and they didn't just pick this one. They really thought about it, took the time to talk with me, and I feel we picked the best combination. When that stuff makes it here, I'll show it as well, but I'm gonna get this stuff loaded up so we can head to the engine shop tomorrow.